These story beats made us want to sail away from Westeros and never look back. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Game of Thrones moments that made fans rage quit. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the plot points that left fans seething with rage. Since our picks come from every season and the darkest corner of the franchise, a spoiler alert and a mature content warning are in effect. Number 10. Theon's torture.
Everything I told you is a lie.
Once Theon betrayed the Starks and captured Winterfell, fans wanted to see him pay for his crimes. But his punishment ended up being more intense than they bargained for. After House Bolton takes control of Winterfell, Ramsay Bolton brutally tortures Theon. His pinky is flayed, he's mentally abused, and he's castrated.
Next time you think about naked girls, will you feel an itch?
After multiple torture scenes, fans felt like Theon's plotline was just getting gratuitous. Since his pain was barely expanding his character or furthering the plot, it just became an unpleasant detour from the overall story. Although Ramsay was only supposed to hurt Theon, the fans suffered every time he was tortured.
What is your name?
Number 9. Jon saved by fast travel.
Run back to Eastwood, get a raven to Daenerys, tell her what's happened.
I'm not leaving you.
You're the fastest. Go, now!
Moments before an undead army surrounded Jon beyond the North Wall, he ordered Gendry to sprint south and notify Daenerys.
We need to send a raven. Get the maester. Now!
Gendry delivers the message to Eastwatch. Daenerys receives it in Dragonstone. She flies north beyond the wall and saves Jon. The question is, how? Everything seemed to happen within a day's time. However, it's been established that traveling between Winterfell and King's Landing takes about a month. With Eastwatch north of Winterfell and Dragonstone near King's Landing, a raven should have taken at least a day just to deliver the message. The rushed timeline made fans angry at Gendry and his supersonic raven for their insanely fast journeys. Number 8. Sansa and Arya's arguments.
You always liked nice things. Made you feel better than everyone.
After being separated for years, the Stark sisters finally reunited. Shortly after their reunion, Littlefinger tried to make Arya and Sansa despise each other.
They forced me to do it.
Did they? With a knife at your throat? Did they put you on a rack and stretch you until your bones started to pop?
You don't know what it was like. I was a child.
After the sisters had a few private arguments, it looked like Sansa would publicly arrest Arya. Instead, the Starks expose Littlefinger's plot and execute him. But fans felt that twist didn't justify the fighting. If Sansa and Arya were pretending to hate each other to trick Littlefinger, why did they argue in private? If they were genuinely fighting, when did they bury the hatchet? Their constant fighting either ended with a plot hole or existed to pad out the season's runtime. Regardless of intent, fans hated seeing Arya and Sansa argue.
And the snows fall and the white winds blow. The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
Number 7. Arya killing the Night King.
What do we say to the god of death?
Not today.
For nearly 8 seasons, the Night King and his undead army were built up as the most dangerous threat to Westeros. After an extremely dark battle, his forces prepared to claim victory. Suddenly, Arya leaped past the Night King's soldiers and stabbed him with a Valyrian steel dagger, causing him and his army to collapse. Although Arya is a great warrior, fans were shocked to see her take the powerful Night King down so easily. His swift defeat left us no time to see his fighting skills or to learn if he had deeper motives. Despite seasons of hype for an epic battle against the Night King, it only took seconds to beat him. Number 6. The Sand Snakes.
Oberyn tossed his spear at my feet and said, "Girl or boy, we fight our battles. But the gods let us choose our weapons."
The Sand Snakes had great potential. After After their father Oberyn was killed by the Mountain, these warrior women craved revenge. The problem? They never seemed all that dangerous or interesting.
Drop your weapons!
As a result, we're left to judge them by their heinous actions. Although their father pledged not to harm innocent girls, they let Ilaria Sand kill Myrcella Lannister. They also stabbed their people in the back and failed to win any major fights. Their lack of sympathetic traits and smart decision-making made sitting through their scenes a chore. When they were all unceremoniously murdered in Season 7, some fans celebrated the demise of these wasted warriors.
Your daughter will die here in this cell, and you will be here watching when she does.
Number 5. Jaime and Cersei's crushing ending.
Sail out of the bay. If the winds are kind, you'll make it to Pentos. Start a new life.
While Jaime was a disgraced warrior seeking redemption, Cersei was a cunning villain who committed ruthless acts for power. They met the same lackluster end. After starting a romance with Brienne, Jaime abandons her to save Cersei. While seeing Brienne cry over him was infuriating, his final moments with Cersei were more rage-inducing. During Daenerys' siege of King's Landing, the two Lannisters become trapped underneath the collapsing Red Keep. As Cersei is reduced to a crying mess, Jaime comforts her. Moments later, they are crushed to death.
I don't like this. Don't like this. Don't like this.
Look me in the eye. Don't look away. Don't look. Look at me.
Calling their deaths anticlimactic doesn't even begin to cover it. Jaime and Cersei's complex journeys shouldn't have ended with simple rocks. Number 4. Shireen Is Sacrificed.
It's a good thing. A great thing.
Hear us now, my lord. To you we offer up this girl, that you may cleanse her with your fire, and that its light may lead our way.
During his quest to take Winterfell, Stannis Baratheon had to deal with low supplies, enemy sabotage, and a bad storm. Since he was unwilling to retreat, his religious advisor Melisandre offered to sacrifice his daughter Shireen to guarantee victory. Although Stannis initially refused, he eventually gave in and allowed his daughter to be burned as a tribute. The resulting scene is nothing less than harrowing. We hear Shireen's desperate screams as Stannis Baratheon, his wife, and his soldiers watch the innocent girl burn.
Father, don't do this, please! Father, no, please! Please help! Don't do this!
For some viewers, this death was more about shock value than story. As a result, a few fans chose to desert the series entirely.
Help! Please don't do this, Father! Please! Please, Father, please! Please, no! Please, no!
Number 3. Sansa's sexual assault.
Oh, no, no, no. You stay here, Reek. You watch.
When Jaime appeared to rape Cersei after their son's funeral, fans were disturbed by the graphic and uncomfortable scene. They were disgusted again when Sansa was assaulted. After Sansa is married off to Ramsay Bolton, he rapes her on their wedding night while forcing a weeping Theon to watch. Fans were outraged by the upsetting and brutal scene. They were further enraged when Sansa later implied that her assault contributed to the person she became.
Without Littlefinger and Ramsay and the rest, I would have stayed a little bird all my life.
Sexual assault is a sensitive topic that should be handled carefully, but the way the writers addressed Sansa's rape and the aftermath failed the character and the audience. Number 2. Bran becomes king.
And who has a better story than Bran the Broken?
In the show's finale, Bran Stark is named king. Now that the explanation's done, let's dive into why this felt so wrong.
Why do you think I came all this way?
Bran didn't appear for a full season. He said he didn't want the title. Both Jon and Gendry have better claims. Although we could go on forever, the most common fan complaint is that it doesn't feel like Bran earned it.
I'm going to go now.
Go where?
Instead of using his visions to guide others, he mostly dropped cryptic hints as people struggled to make the right decisions. Maybe Bran's talent for telling people what to do while he does nothing makes him the most qualified to rule. But his abilities aren't enough to make us happy about his crowning.
You cannot
Yes, I can. I'm king.
Before we rage at our top pick, here are some dishonorable mentions.
Sweet girl.
So our new king has chosen to send you to the Night's Watch.
There's still Night's Watch.
You'll never be one of us, Lady Stark.
Number 1, Daenerys Goes Mad.
I am not here to be Queen of the Ashes.
We wish that the modern coffee cup and water bottles that appeared in the background were Season 8's biggest missteps, but the breaking point for fans came when Daenerys attacked King's Landing. Throughout the series, Daenerys pledged to take the Iron Throne without harming innocents or losing herself. But after Missandei and Rhaegal are murdered by Cersei's forces, she becomes merciless. After King's Landing surrenders, she burns its buildings, women and children to ashes. Fans felt like Daenerys' journey to become a strong, adored, and forgiving leader was entirely thrown out for the sake of a shocking twist. The finale may have been disappointing, but it wasn't as infuriating as watching the Breaker of Chains become a mad queen.
It was necessary.
Necessary? Have you been down there? Have you seen children, little children burned?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.